A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ati'ullah, ati'ur Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself, ana abdukal ajiz da'ifo, miskeen, zalim, jahal, and but for the grace of Allah that we are still in existence. InshaAllah. 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 Fa'auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Always a reminder for myself, ana abdukal ajiz da'ifo, miskeen, zalim, jahal, but for the grace of Allah we're still in existence. So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ati'ullah, ati'ur Rasul wa ulil amri minkum. Alhamdulillah, Allah granted us this blessed month of Sha'ban, and always a reminder for myself that this style of teaching is very specific. The teaching of muraqabah and how to make a spiritual connection, how to reach to the Muhammadan kingdom, all of these are very disciplined realities that in the last days these are being taught first, and previously this was taught last after the student accomplished what they had to accomplish in tariqas of realities. But because of the last days and the times of difficulty that are upon mankind, this is a permission to teach these realities. They require each other. The system of teaching people that the dunya is collapsing. You take people to a morgue and you show them this body is dead. Only by continuously teaching that this sign came, look this is dangerous, this sign came, this is dangerous, look this sign came, this is dangerous. It's not that you think, oh I have hopes and aspirations for my work, my family, and I'm trying to build all these things and I don't want to think about these things. I want to go listen to somebody speaking about how to wash with water and how much water I need, thinking that it's… As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh John. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. InshaAllah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below. The programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Trying to be down and dark, but in reality it's not, it's the opposite. They're not asking for difficult days to come, they're merely teaching that your heart has to believe that difficult days are upon us. That if the heart believes and the sense of desire diminishes, so like a doctor's office they have to give you a shot in which the dunya desire is continuously diminishing as shaitan is trying to pump the desire because it's a constant. We said before, the default in this situation of our life is not that if I don't think about it, it just stays neutral, because all of shaitan's magnetism is that knows to increase the desire from 6 directions. Be a little bit more fashionable, be a little bit more eating this, or be a little bit more listening to something less intensive. So in every direction shaitan is pulling us. So the default is towards negativity and towards shaitan's desires for dunya. That's his apex. All his influencers, they've sworn their soul to that reality, they sold their soul for that reality. It's not that I don't focus on it, it'll stay where it is. It's the overwhelming force and tide is towards these dunya desires. Its medicine and the counter for its reality is to understand about the end days. Every time we hear a reality from the end days, it becomes a medicine that kills the desire inside. Not that you're not going to plan for the world, you plan as if this dunya is going forever and do all your businesses, all your work and everything, because this life may go forever. But what the servant wants is that their heart not to think it's going to live forever. That the desire within the qalb is, oh this dunya is not the horse I'm going to bet on, it's going, it's perishing. Look, Shaykh said this, oh look in the news, this is happening, this is happening. And this is a part of faith. When the heart believes that the dunya is collapsing, not that it's trying to counter the shaykh, no, look this been happening, they've been saying about war all the time. So no, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping your faith by thinking this dunya is going to go forever. If you want to build faith, you have to kill the desire. The medicine to conquer dunya desire, not that you're not accomplished in dunya, you may be very accomplished in dunya. So all the holy companions were great tradesmen. They spread Islam by being immense merchants, and they conquered the world by their business abilities, and everywhere they went they established a masjid for Allah and for Sayyidina Muhammad. So this was a symbol within the heart that this medicine that we take and the faith that believes in these last days, we said before, that's enough for the heart to understand, I'm not betting on dunya. I live the dunya, give everybody what they need from dunya, my heart is for akhirah and I'm continuously looking for the signs of akhirah. And as a result of that reality entering into the heart, then there's the servant that comes and teaches us about muraqabah. How can a shaykh teach about muraqabah and connecting if he's not disconnecting and unplugging you from the matrix? If his teachings are not unplugging, then how could he possibly teach about tafakkur? Because then everybody would be sitting in tafakkur thinking about their work, how they're going to make the business account, how they're going to make this account, how they're going to do that, how they're going to raise this. So the medicine that the shaykh is giving is for the purpose of the subjects that he's teaching. That when the student understands and with their heart they're following, they have samina wa atana in their heart, they listen that this is coming, this difficulty, this difficulty, this difficulty, their heart begins to understand that this dunya is collapsing. Not listening to the brain that's countering them and say, no, it's not collapsing, it's going to go forever, it's going to go forever. Because that's counterintuitive to your spiritual progress. So this is the purpose of these teachings. It's not that you tune out because you have so much at stake, you're trying to build so much in your life. Build whatever you want, it actually will be much more successful to a heart that serves Allah. If the heart is of a dunya desire, it's serving shaitan because Allah has no desire for dunya. But those whom understood the system, because the mind doesn't understand it, it's only the way of the heart. The mind says, no, this is not logical, because it wants to see an outcome like a battle we want to win. That's what the mind thinks, no, this is a battle that the victory only Allah knows. So when the servant is continuously countering dunya, continuously listening to the last days, their connection is getting stronger. The connection with the shaykh is getting stronger, the faiz is getting stronger, the energies are getting stronger, more insight even for their dunya. Because of the barakah that dressing them, then Allah knows this is a servant of akhirah, that what we bestow upon them they're going to build their akhirah, and they're not going to be focusing on only building their dunya, they build their akhirah. So there has an immense hikmah, because you want to connect to the one who writes your checks, not the imitated people who think they give you money, they give you salary, they give you rizq. Allah is the only one who writes everything. Means all sustenance, la hawla wa la quwwata, there's no help and there is no power except through Allah, through the hand of Sayyidina Muhammad, and this is the tariqah understandings. And if we're not holding firm to the hand of Prophet, what is it that we're trying to open? That's why then the curriculum and the teaching is not for you to counter it with your mind but for you to believe it with your heart. Oh yeah, I see that's collapsing, this collapsing, this is these battles are beginning, these chemicals are being thrown. All of these is for the heart to understand this is not the abode to put your bet on, and that ours is with eternity, and that we make our eternal connection. Through that connection Allah will bestow upon the servant whatever they want, whatever comes to their heart is kun fayakun, because the will of Allah resides within their heart. So it means the true struggle in life is to cut the desire and connect to the heavens. When the servant connects to the heavens, then Allah gives in mysterious ways. Means nothing can stop what Allah wants to support for a servant. But when servant is loved by Allah and they're running towards dunya, then becomes a difficulty in their life. So they run towards Prophet, do their muraqabah, hear the teaching that things are collapsing, and they believe and they have strong connections, and still when they go to work they have a lot of barakah, a lot of blessings. Allah take away many difficulties, many barriers. And this is what's meant by neither trade nor business distract the men of Allah. It didn't say that they don't do trade and business, the men of Allah, is that it's not distracted by them. They learn from their shaykh how to believe in his teachings, they see the poisons that are entering to dunya, so they see it as a dead carcass. But because of the barakah in their lives, the yaqeen that they have, the lights that they have, business and trade doesn't distract them. They do their business time with a lot of yaqeen, and they do their akhirah time with lots of yaqeen. And that's when Allah give them for dunya hasanat and akhirah hasanat. These are the servants who will achieve goodness of this dunya and the goodness of akhirah. So they don't lose dunya, but they understood how to understand that the dunya is dying, you see it as something dying, and build your connection with the eternity. And that's the only way the heart will open. Convince your mind and take from his teachings that everything is collapsing. This is not the one to be betting on that this is going to go forever. Then this connection comes. Then when the connection comes, it's very specific that you have to make a connection with the shaykh. There is no muraqabah outside of connecting with the shaykh. So email comes in, oh I'm doing meditation for so many times now, and I'm listening to the whispers that come to me, and now I shave my beard. And I have so much inspirations are coming to me, and because the shaitan and the jinns, of course they inspire people. That wasn't the system that anyone was told, because the last thing you want to do is close your eyes and just sit there closed eyes, because shaitan is next to you. And if you're going to sit there just to listen, who are you listening to? Of course shaitan. You have no energy to scare shaitan away. He's already on your shoulders, he doesn't have to be far away, he's on your shoulders holding your ears. For our anime guys and our designers, you know how shaitan rides somebody? He's on their shoulders. This little ifrit puts two fingers with nails in the ears of the servant and he sits on them like a horse, saying right, left, right, left. You say, A'udhu billah, they're not going anywhere. So the tafakkur and the contemplation is the most difficult part of muraqabah. How do I sit with wudu, how do I sit with how they've taught me and what my recitations, go to the website, get the meditation book or go to the website, print out the articles. Then I sit with wudu, I connect my heart, I make my istighfar and I begin to visualize the shaykh. That is the a'udhu billah. If you don't visualize the shaykh, you're sitting with shaitan. And if you sit with shaitan, you're going to end up in Jahannam because shaitan is going to flip you. So the person now emailing, oh I've been listening to these whispers, it's not from us, you didn't visualize the shaykh, who are you listening to? Why would you say you're listening to whispers? What system do you think you're following? This is not anything from the teachings. The teachings was the most difficult is visualize the shaykh, that the shaykh is in front of you. Without that there's nothing. You may spend months for some reason trying to visualize your shaykh is in front of you. And when you do that and your connection is strong, you know you don't take yourself anywhere else. You don't try to listen to anything else, it's going to break the connection with your shaykh. Because your shaykh is the one whom you have a loyalty with you have a bond and connection with, and you're trying to build the bond, not weaken the bond and to destroy the bond. You don't have to go left and you don't have to go right, you have to keep your connection. Because if you go other places, just like in a marriage, if you're just roaming around you're headed for zina, you're headed for destruction because you go back home not satisfied. You say, no maybe I saw this, I saw that. So people say, oh I listened to this shaykh, oh look it was very nice, it talked like this. Okay, now you're going to break your connection with your shaykh. So the frailty of the connection is such a sensitive wire until it becomes like a chain. So this wire is such a sensitive wire. If you view it like that, what we call wuquful qalb, the vigilance of one's heart, don't give your heart to anyone and to everyone. Because you say that my heart is for Allah, my heart is for Prophet, my heart is to connect with the shaykh so that this light of Prophet can begin to enter, and that my obedience and my loyalty to the way. As a result I meditated, it became very like a loose, like a very sensitive wire. And you nurture that sensitivity by your loyalty and good character. As a result they build their connection stronger, they build their connection stronger. You don't think they were tested? Listen to this, listen to that. This is what, you're not the only person who ever listened to anything. Every test will come to see, are you willing to sacrifice that connection? Go here, go there, this is that. You say in our life, who cares? Our life was to make the connection. Then that very frail wire became something strong. And in our time there were shaykhs with all their sites and all their things. Our life was to make the connection with my shaykh and to propagate my shaykh's teaching. I didn't propagate this shaykh, that shaykh, this shaykh, that shaykh, think that maybe I'll get blessings from everyone. But what happens is I didn't get blessings from everyone and I would lose the connection with the only one. If you have somebody you're about to marry and the word gets out that you're everywhere, what would happen to your marriage? It would be cut, because everyone will say, I see this person there, I see this person there. And that's why they use the analogy, because it's a loyalty. That if you're trying to make this connection, your responsibility is loyalty. Support, you're loyal and you're going to come through many temptations. Many associations everywhere, it's not the first time they're happening. All our lives the shaykhs had everything, all of them had different websites. Our only focus was on our shaykh's website, because to be a servant of the shaykh, serve his mission and to enter into his annihilation. It doesn't mean you serve my shaykh, you serve your shaykh. You don't promote any other shaykh, you promote your shaykh if this is what you're trying to establish. If not, then do whatever you like, and 30 years you'll come back, and other people have been like that for 30, 40 years. They have no connection. When they talk you feel like they have no connection because they never understood it. They would sit with this one and talk about that one. I said, but that one's not your shaykh, this one is your shaykh. 30, 40 years they can grow old and beard and still they have no connection. So it means this is not a prison sentence where you're trying to do it for 50 years to get somewhere. If you did it in the first year correctly you could achieve everything. It's not a prison sentence, the longer time I spend the more likelihood of me ever connecting. No, because if something's being done wrong you do 30 years you do that, nothing will happen. So the whole system is being taught by somebody who was taught that reality. Our loyalty was to the shaykh my shaykh, that my heart was attuned with, the teachings, the style was like a lock and a key into my heart, not interested in anything else. As a result my shaykh dressed me from his light, from his reality, from his secrets and from his heart. And as a result go back into the world and teach people the same. Not that they connect with my shaykh and trying to accomplish that door's shut, he's not even talking anymore to anything. Means these are the realities for the soul, that they offer you the shaykh on this dunya, that connect with them. Find the one that resonates with your heart, connect your heart. Connect every night to make your connection and then serve the mission. This is your khidmat in life. I served them, I did everything so that their nazar could be continuously upon me, because this is the power for that connection. Once I'm loyal and I made my connection, this is the rabita. When I'm loyal and made the connection, I wanted their faiz, and their faiz is a qudra. The faiz is where the energy comes. Why would the energy comes if I don't do a khidmat? So my khidmat is everything. I serve, I go out and give food, I do every type of charitable thing, I send out the articles, I send out the charities, I send out this, I do that, I work. From what I work I give and support. And many people are doing amazing khidmats with all the services. Everything that coming to our jama'ah is by the people whom serve. Everything is coming from their service. This is inspirational for people. There's nobody paid, everyone is of service. From the people whom are programming the devices you use, 30, 40, 50,000 around the world whom are using the app for their awrad, for their practices, for information, for dhikrs, for everything, because this is the legacy of the tariqah. Each time somebody may change things but the legacy of the tariqah is on that app. Means what the shaykhs and the grand shaykhs and the sultans have brought is there for people to use regardless of liking us or not. But this is the jama'ah that supported it, and these are the students that built it. And the live broadcast coming, the center coming, the zikrs, all of these are the khidmat and the fruits of the tariqah and the ways of this shaykh, in which she taught that the desires to drop and make your connection. The two go hand in hand. If the desire is strong and you counter everything, then, oh no, this dunya is going forever, you'll never have a connection and none of this will ever make sense. And before you know it your heart will be convinced by shaitan run that you go somewhere that the dunya is great and you're going to be great and everything wrong. But you lost the connection to the one whom really writes your cheque, which is Allah. So that becomes the trick of shaitan that, oh, if you follow them then you're not going to have anything. No, if you follow them you'll own everything, because Malik al-Mulk hand is on everything. While Malik al-Mulk is the king of all mulk. Who is that? That's the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. His servants are Malik al-Mulk. They serve the Malik who has all the mulk of dunya and akhirah, because they are the kings of akhirah. The king of akhirah controls the kingdoms of dunya, because this is just a small manifestation of the immense reality of the malakut. But it requires to make the connection, not listen to shaitan, and to follow the sunnah, adherence to the sunnah. Anytime something whispering to you against the sharia, against the sunnah, well clearly you're listening to shaitan and you've let shaitan to come too much into your understanding. If you have mental diseases and you don't connect and you don't listen and you start listening to shaitan, it's a guaranteed insanity, and the ticket will be written off for that person because they gave themselves to shaitan. The system is to connect, the system is to have the visualization of the shaykh, and the whole way is to make that visualization very powerful, very strong. Not to visualize, I want this or that or sceneries and visions, and no, you don't need any vision, because the only vision that counts is that I can visualize my shaykh. And when that visualization is strong, that shaykh dress me from your dress and I want to enter into the oceans of power which there's nothing. I just want to reach to oceans of power. They want to show you grapefruit, you don't care. They want to show you a sword, you don't care. This is all a delusion. The only thing is to be in the dress of the shaykh and to reach towards the oceans of power. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon. As-salaamun al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa bi siri Surat al-Fatiha. As-salaamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans: Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salaamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.